Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that it was after sunset when several leaders of the Quraysh gathered behind the Kaaba for a meeting. Among them were Utbah and Shayba, the two sons of Rabi'a, Abu Sufyan bin Harb, someone from the Abd Dar tribe, Abu Bakhtari from the Banu Asad tribe, Aswad bin Abdul, Zama bin al-Aswad, Walid bin Mughira, Abu Jahl bin Hisham, Abdullah bin Abi Umayyah, Umayyah bin Khalaf, As bin Wa'il, and Nabi and Munabba, the two sons of Hajjaj from the Banu Saham tribe. They decided to send someone to call Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to them in an effort to speak to him frankly and thrash out matters so that people would know that they had made every effort to resolve matters. Consequently, the message reached Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the leaders of his people have gathered to speak to him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam hurried to meet them, thinking that they had changed their opinions about him and were ready to accept Islam, because he was always eager for their welfare and always desired that they be rightly guided and always distressed by their errant ways. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sat with them, they said, "O Muhammad, we have sent for you so that people may know that we have done our best to persuade you. By Allah, we know of no other Arab who has distressed his people as you have done. You have insulted our forefathers, blasphemed against our religion, made our luminaries seem foolish, abused our gods, and disrupted our unity. In fact, you have done everything possible to spoil relations between us. If it is wealth that you want by propagating your message, we shall accumulate wealth to make you the wealthiest person amongst us. If it is honor that you want, we shall make you our leader. If it is kingship you aspire for, we shall make you our king. If you are doing this because you have been afflicted by evil spirits that have overwhelmed you, then we shall spend all our fortunes until you are cured or until we grow helpless in finding a cure for you." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "I aspire for none of the things you have mentioned. I have not brought to you what I have brought, that is the message of Islam, in search of your wealth, nor to attain honor or kingship. However, Allah has sent me as a messenger to you. Allah has revealed a book to me and commanded me that I convey glad tidings to you should you accept Islam, and warn you at the same time. I have therefore conveyed to you the message of my Rabb, and I have given you sound advice. If you accept what I have brought to you, you shall be fortunate in this world as well as in the Akhirah. On the other hand, should you reject this, I shall wait for the decision of Allah when He decides matters between myself and you people." After listening to him, the leaders of the Quraysh said, "O Muhammad, since you would not accept any of our proposals, you know very well that there is no city more restricted than ours, no nation poorer than us, and none who live lives more difficult than ours. Therefore, ask your Rabb who has sent you to move from us these mountains that have restricted us, to expand our city, to cause rivers to flow like the rivers of Sham and Iraq. In addition to this, ask him to bring back to life our forefathers who have passed away. Amongst these, he should bring back to life Qusay bin Kilab, because he was a pious person. We shall then ask him whether you are truthful in your claim or not. If you fulfill all that we have asked you, and if our forefathers verify what you say, then we shall believe you and acknowledge your status with Allah. We shall then acknowledge that Allah has sent you as a messenger as you claim." In response to this, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "I have not been sent for this reason. I have been sent to you people with that which Allah has sent me for, and I have already conveyed to you that which Allah has sent me with. If you accept it, you shall meet good fortune in this world as well as in the next. On the other hand, should you reject this, I shall patiently await the command of Allah when He decides matters between yourselves and me." The Mushrikeen then said, "If you do not wish to do this, then at least do this for yourself, that you ask your Rabb to send an angel to verify what you say and give answers on your behalf. You should also ask him to grant you orchards, treasures, and palaces of gold and silver, by which you would become independent of the things we assume you are hankering after, because you merely stand in the marketplaces and earn a living just as we do. If you do this, we shall acknowledge your high standing in the sight of your Rabb. This you would do if you are really a Nabi as you claim." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to them, "I shall not do this. I am not one to ask my Rabb for such things, and I have not been sent to you for this reason. However, Allah has sent me as a bearer of glad tidings and as a warner. If you accept what I say, you shall meet good fortune in this world as well as in the next. On the other hand, should you reject this, I shall patiently await the command of Allah when He decides matters between yourselves and me. Then Mushrikeen said, in that case, cause the sky to fall on us, as you claim your Rabb is able to do if He pleases. We shall never believe you unless you do this. Rasulullah said to them, that is left to Allah. If He wills, He would make it happen. But they said, O Muhammad, did your Rabb not know that we will be sitting with you and asking you for these things? Could He not have informed you earlier about the questions we will be asking and the replies you ought to be giving? Could He not have told you what He would do with us if we refuse to accept what you say? The news has reached us that you have learned everything you say from a man in Yamama whose name is Rahman. By Allah, we shall never believe in Rahman. O Muhammad, we have placed everything before you without leaving anything unsaid. By Allah, we shall never leave you alone and will keep seeking vengeance for what he and you had done to us. Eventually, it will be us who will finish you off, or you who will finish us off. Thereafter, one of them said, we worship the angels who are the daughters of Allah. Another said, we shall never believe you until you bring Allah and the angels all before us. When they had said this, Rasulullah stood up and left them. His cousin by the name of Abdullah bin Abi Umayyah, who was the son of Rasulullah's paternal aunt Atika, also stood up with him and said, O Muhammad, your people presented to you what they had to say, but you refused to accept any of their proposals. Thereafter, they asked you for something they required by which they could recognize your high status in the sight of Allah, but you refused to do even this. Eventually, they asked you to hasten the punishment about which you had been warning them. I swear by Allah and that I shall never believe in you until I see you set up a staircase leading to the heavens, climb it, and return with an open scripture together with 4 angels who testify that you are as you claim you are. By Allah, I think that I would not even believe you after this. He then turned away from Rasulullah leaving Rasulullah to return to his family in a state of sadness and dejection, because not only was his desire for them to accept Islam left unfulfilled, but because he noticed that they were drifting further from him. Mahmud bin Labid from the Banu Abdul Ashal tribe narrates that Abul Haysam Anas bin Rafi and some youths from the Banu Abdul Ashal tribe arrived in Makkah to conclude a treaty with the Quraysh on behalf of their tribe, the Khazraj. Among these youths was Iyas bin Muad. When Rasulullah heard about their arrival, he approached them and said, Do you desire something better than that which has brought you? They replied, What is it? He said, I am the Rasul of Allah. Allah has sent me to His servants to call them to worship Him without ascribing any partners to Him. Allah has also revealed a book to me. Rasulullah then spoke to them about the beauty of Islam and recited a part of the Quran to them. To this, Iyas bin Muad, who was still a young lad, said to the people, By Allah, this is certainly better than that which has brought you here. Abul Haysam Anas bin Rafi threw a handful of pebbles into the face of Iyas and said, Ignore this. I swear by my life that we have come for some other purpose. Iyas remained silent and Rasulullah left them. The group later left for Medina. This occurred during the period when the Aus and Khazraj tribes were fighting a prolonged battle called Bu'ath. It was not long thereafter that Iyas passed away. Hazrat Mahmud bin Labid narrates further that the people who were with Iyas at the time of his death informed him that they heard Iyas reciting the words La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar and Subhanallah until he died. There is no doubt about the fact that he died as a Muslim. He had accepted Islam as soon as he received the invitation directly from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam climbed the hill of Marwa when the following verse of the Quran was revealed. O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, first warn your closest relatives about the punishment due to those who reject Iman. Surah Shura, verse 214. From the top of the hill, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called out, O the family of Fahr, To this call the Quraysh arrived. Abu Lahab bin Abdul Muttalib said, "The Fahr tribe are present before you, so say your peace." Rasulullah ﷺ called, "O the family of Ghalib." So the Banu Mahrayab and Banu Harith tribes, who were the descendants of Fahr, returned. Then Rasulullah ﷺ called, "O the family of Luway bin Ghalib." So the Banu Tamil Adram tribe, who were the descendants of Ghalib, returned. Thereafter Rasulullah ﷺ called, "O the family of Ka'b bin Luway." So the Banu Amir tribe, who were the descendants of Luway, returned. Then Rasulullah ﷺ called, "O the family of Murrah bin Ka'b." So the Banu Adi bin Ka'b, the Banu Saham, and the Banu Jumah bin Amr bin Husay's tribes, who were all the descendants of Ka'b bin Luway, returned. Then Rasulullah ﷺ called, "O the family of Kilab." So the Banu Makhzum bin Yaqza and Banu Taym tribes, who were the descendants of Murrah, returned. Then Rasulullah ﷺ called, "O the family of Qusay." So the Banu Zuhra tribe, who were the descendants of Qusay, returned. Then Rasulullah ﷺ called, "O the family of Abd Manaf." So the Banu Abdud Dar, the Banu Asad bin Abdul Uzza, and Banu Abd tribes, who were the descendants of Qusay, returned. Abu Lahab then said, "The Abd Manaf tribe are present before you, so say your peace." Rasulullah ﷺ then spoke, "Allah has commanded me to warn my closest relatives, and you are the closest to me from among the Quraysh. I can do nothing on your behalf in the court of Allah, nor can I do anything in your favor in the Akhirah unless you say, La ilaha illallah. If you do so, I shall testify to this in the court of your Rabb. At the same time, all the Arabs shall be in your control, and the non-Arabs shall be subservient to you." Abu Lahab retorted by saying, "May you be destroyed. Have you called us for this?" It was in response to this that Allah revealed the verses, "May the hands of Abu Lahab be shattered, and may he be destroyed." Surah Lahab. Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that Rasulullah ﷺ climbed the hill of Safa when the following verse of the Quran was revealed. "O Rasulullah ﷺ, first warn your closest relatives about the punishment due to those who reject Iman." Surah Shura, verse 214. He then called out, "Ya Sabaha." In response to this call, everyone gathered around Rasulullah ﷺ. Some came themselves, while others sent representatives. Addressing them, Rasulullah ﷺ said, "Would you believe me if I told you that the enemy cavalry was preparing to attack you from the foot of this hill?" When they all responded in the affirmative, Rasulullah ﷺ said, "I am then warning you of a severe punishment." Abu Lahab snapped, "May you be destroyed for all the day. Have you called us for this?" It was in response to this that Allah revealed the verses, "May the hands of Abu Lahab be shattered, and may he be destroyed," in Surah Al-Lahab. Hazrat Abdullah bin Ka'b bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates that Rasulullah ﷺ gave dawah secretly for the first 3 years. It was during the fourth year that he openly began calling people to Islam. This continued for the next 10 years in Mecca. During this time, Rasulullah ﷺ invited people to Islam wherever they stayed when they arrived for Hajj, even at the marketplaces of Ukaz, Majina, and Zil Majaz. He requested them to grant him asylum so that he could propagate the message of his mighty Rabb, promising them Jannah in return. However, he could find none to assist him. Eventually, he used to even find out about the place where each individual tribe stayed. When he finally reached the Banu Amir bin Sasa tribe, they ill-treated him like no other tribe did. When he left them, they actually threw stones at him. When Rasulullah ﷺ met the Banu Muharib tribe, he spoke to one of them, who was an elder aged 120 years. Rasulullah ﷺ invited him to Islam and requested that they offer him asylum so that he may propagate the message of Allah. However, the old man said, "O person, your people know your condition better. By Allah, whoever takes you back to their locality will have returned with the worst thing a person performing Hajj could return with this season. Stay away from us." All this while Abu Lahab had been listening to the conversation. He approached the old man of the Banu Muharib and said, "If all the people this season had been like you, he would have forsaken the religion he practices. He is an irreligious liar." The old man said, "By Allah, you know him better, for he is your brother's son and your own flesh." Addressing Abu Lahab further, the old man said, "O Abu Utbah, Is he perhaps not insane? We have with us a man from the tribe who will know how to cure him." Abu Lahab gave no reply. However, whenever Abu Lahab saw Rasulullah ﷺ standing with the tribe, calling them to Islam, he would shout out, "He is irreligious, he is a liar." Hazrat Wabisa narrates from his grandfather radiallahu ta'ala anhu that their tribe was stationed close to the first Jamara in Mina, near the Masjid Khaif, when Rasulullah ﷺ came to them riding. Mounted behind him on the same animal was Hazrat Zayd bin Haritha radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He says, Rasulullah ﷺ invited us to accept Islam, but by Allah we failed to accept his invitation and thus committed a grave crime. He continues, we had already heard about the message of Rasulullah ﷺ that Hajj season, and when he came to us and gave us the message, we did not accept it. With us was Maysara bin Masruq Absi, who said, I swear by Allah that it will be an excellent idea to believe this man, and to take him with us to our locality and keep him with us. I swear by Allah that the words of this man shall soon be dominant and reach the entire world. The people said to him, forget this talk. Why do you present to us something that we do not have the strength to handle? After hearing what Maysara had to say, Rasulullah ﷺ grew hopeful that he would accept Iman. So he spoke to him further. Maysara said to Rasulullah ﷺ, what you are speaking is most excellent and extremely enlightening. However, my people are opposing me, and a man has to do as his people do. If a man's own people do not support him, how can he expect his enemies to treat him? Rasulullah ﷺ then left. As the people left, Maysara told them to proceed to Fidak because many Jews lived there and they could ask the Jews about Rasulullah ﷺ. When they approached the Jews and asked about Rasulullah ﷺ, the Jews took out a book, placed it before them and read to them about Rasulullah ﷺ. It read, the unlettered Arab Nabi shall ride a camel and shall suffice on very little to eat. He shall neither be too tall nor too short, and his hair shall neither be very curly nor extremely straight. His eyes shall have red lines, and his complexion shall be fair with tones of red. After reading this much, the Jews said, if the person who invited you fits the description, you should believe in him and adopt his religion. We shall not follow him because we are jealous of him, and we shall fight brutal battles against him on many occasions. There shall not be an Arab who does not either follow him or fight him. So you should be among those who follow him. Upon hearing this, Maysara turned to his people and said, O people, the matter is now clear. But the people said, we shall return the following Hajj season to meet him. So they returned to their homes. However, their leaders refused to let them return for the following Hajj, and therefore none of them were able to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam later migrated to Medina. It was when he performed the farewell Hajj that he met Maysara and recognized him. Maysara radiallahu ta'ala anhu asked, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by Allah, I was eager to follow you from the day you halted your camel by us, but matters took their course as they did. As you see, Allah had decided that I become a Muslim much later. Most of those who were with me have passed away. Where have they gone to? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, all those who have passed away while following a religion other than Islam are in the fire of Jahannam. Maysara radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, all praise is due to Allah who has saved me. He then accepted Islam and was an excellent Muslim. He also enjoyed a respectable standing with Hazrat Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Hazrat Ibn Ruman, Hazrat Abdullah bin Abi Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and others have reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam approached the Kinda tribe at their camping place near the market of Yukaz. Never before had he met a tribe that was so soft-natured. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam realized how soft-natured and loving they were, he addressed them saying, I call you towards the one Allah, who has no partners, and that if you protect me like you protect yourselves, you shall have your choice once the message of Islam becomes dominant. Most of the people said, these words are superb, but we worship the gods that our forefathers used to worship. One of the youngest persons there said, O my people, hurry to receive this message before you are beaten to it. By Allah, the Ahlul Kitab have been saying that the time is close when a Nabi shall emerge from the Haram. To this, a one-eyed man from the tribe stood up and said, Be silent and hear me out. His own people have driven him out. Yet you want to shelter him and thus bear fighting all the Arabs? You cannot do this. I repeat, you cannot do this. Rasulullah ﷺ then left them feeling very aggrieved. When the tribe returned home and informed other people about the incident, a Jew said to them, "You people have missed a golden opportunity. Had you received this man, you would have become the leaders of the Arabs." We have the description of this man in our scriptures. As he described Rasulullah ﷺ from the scriptures, those people who had seen Rasulullah ﷺ confirmed every description he gave. The Jews said further, "We have in our scriptures that he shall appear in Makkah and then migrate to Yathrib, that is Medina." The people then decided that they would meet Rasulullah ﷺ the following Hajj season, but none of them got to meet him because one of their leaders prevented them from going for Hajj that season. When the Jew passed away, he was heard accepting Rasulullah ﷺ as Allah's Nabi and believing in him.